back-to-back nerfs. His strengths gain, which was what got buffed, got removed, and then reduced even further. His lifesteal got weakened, so I think also he got figured out a bit. I think he was being overrated. Like every single game, he was first pick for like the entire patch 7.21, and then people started doing things like picking Ursa that hard counter the lifestealer. It's a hero that just doesn't care about magic immunity, doesn't care about trading right clicks with a lifestealer. Most heroes don't want to trade right clicks. Ursa builds Basher. You can bash him through the rage. And here's another hero that's actually good against Lifestealer. If Lifestealer gets on top of Shaman, yeah, you're pretty dead because he's got Rage and you can't Shackle or Hex him. But the Shaman pick is a counter because you generally have this Aether Lens and cast range talent, and you're going to Hex Lifestealer before he rages.
Yeah.
That's where I think Shaman is actually a Lifestealer counter.
Shaman also has had some success I've seen yesterday through WESG. It's a good objective pusher. And now a counter pusher coming out in their own right. King Gaming pick up the Venomancer. I've also been seeing a lot of play.
Yeah.
I've been seeing him in a lot of these drafts, it looks like.
And this is the hero. Now it's just, they're just trading counter picks a bit, where you mentioned the counter push factor, and then also on top of that, you counter the Ursa. You kite him, you stop him blinking with Plague Wards and with poison damage over time.
Yep.
And then if he ever does blink in, you just slow him with Gale and run away. Your whole team can just kite the hell out of an Ursa. That's how you beat him.
So I wonder now if you're EHOME, you consider some sort of utility hero, something, I don't know, a pipe candidate, some way to kind of deal with the potential AoE, magical damage, spread.
They want another core that doesn't get kited. Ursa can play 1 or 3, but basically they're 2 side lane cores. They've got an Ursa, they're committed to that. I guess he could mid, but their other one needs to be a very mobile hero, which is why Lycan gets banned, because Lycan's good against Lifestealer, he doesn't care about the Venom slows. The other hero that is good they played last game is Weaver.
Yeah.
I think Weaver should be banned. Weaver is a Veno and Lifestealer counter.
Yeah, Weaver seems too good to pass up.
And that's the kind of hero you want to be picking alongside Ursa, now that the Ursa's been semi-counter picked. But we'll see. There's other mobile carries you can consider. Like, I guess, well, from the mid lane, there's like the Storm Spirit type heroes that don't care about Veno and Lifestealer.
Oh, that's true.
It'd like to be a 6 Storm game right now for EHOME, but we're also only 2 picks in, so who knows.
Very true. That Dark Willow also receives a bit of a respect ban there, too. Had some great utility in the previous game in the hands of King Gaming. Was that in the hands of King Gaming? Yeah, right?
It was Kaka, yeah. He was...
Yeah, Kaka all over the place.
Amazing
Heavy lane movement. So I'm intrigued to see that if he doesn't have access to the Dark Willow, what his other go-to support grab is. Kind of get all over the place.
Yeah, kind of taking a step back, playing the 5, not the 4 anymore, but he looked just as dominant in his ability to make plays, at least in game 1. So, let's see.
That was a 5? That Dark Willow didn't play like a 5.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
He got some good fun. He got a fast earn as well for the team.
Yeah.
I think him and Dark are kind of playing both 4-5, depending on the heroes and how the game goes a bit, I imagine.
Man, they're thinking real hard about this one. I'm curious if these teams like scrim or not. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I imagine most of you've got so many good scrim partners in China, so you don't have to, but it's, these are 2 teams playing a lot together, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, interesting. Undying Ban. Not the Weaver type core I expected, but strong laner. They obviously are more afraid of what Undying can do to their lanes than the other carries that could come out like Weaver.
We'll see if EHOME want to kind of build on top of maybe some extra pushing power in the Shadow Shaman. Like you said, they need some extra mobility because the Ursa is already at risk of being kited quite a bit. Maybe somebody to help assist in getting the Ursa into the action a bit. But all right, Omni Knight, that's someone who comes with a bit of his own BKB prowess in himself.
Yeah. Putting the Repel on the Ursa to help deal with the slows a bit.
Yep.
The new Repel, not quite what it used to be, but it's, I don't know, maybe kind of better in some ways. With the status resistance, maybe something that you actually don't mind having as an Ursa. If you get Gale, that Gale's only going to last like a second or 2.
Yeah, I feel so. The new status resist kind of a thing is, I feel like it helps also amplify the abilities that you're able to do on your opponents. If that's the case, I imagine Shadow Shaman's got to be a nice pairing with the Omni Knight in some sense.
And the Heavenly Grace got buffed from 10 seconds to 12, which is a pretty significant increase in terms of duration. The status resistance is now only 50% on each level, though.
Oh, okay.
7.21. So it is a little bit different. And it grants bonus strength. So that's one of those big changes. So when it was first added, it was all about status resistance and gave you health regen bonus. And they're like, okay, 80% status resistance. We don't like that. Let's make it solid 50, but buff up your strength. Omni, I've seen a few people like Fog say is like low-key, super OP and underrated. The hero's biggest issue is just that he doesn't have a good laning stage. It's hard to find a good lane for, but if you can solve his bad lane, he's just incredibly strong.
All right. Yeah, he seems like he could definitely be a great tag team partner with the Ursa.
Yep. New GA has a 1200 radius, up from 600.
What?
I mean, that's going back to 7.20. That's from a little while
still,
ago.
Yeah, that's something you can't sleep on. That was such a big problem for him in the past, obviously, was being able to be in the right positioning to get off those good, huge clutch GAs. I mean, some Omni Knights even considered picking up Blink Daggers and such just to kind of really get off those precise ultimates. But now he has the extra leeway with it, and there's that Weaver you were talking about.
King Gaming had to have seen this coming, I feel like, when they didn't ban it. But they must just feel, you know, it's not a threat. It's the ideal core to have with Ursa, ideal core to have against Venom Lifestealer. But surprisingly, that's why I don't like Witch Doctor here, is because it doesn't give you a disable. They have no lockdown whatsoever. I feel like a Weaver, or at least a elusive hero, was definitely going to be coming, and you need stuns against that, and they pick Witch Doctor. I would rather see like a, you know, Lion or something with a proper stun coming out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Witch Doctor is unless they're trying to death ball or do some sort of boggy push lineup.
Yeah, it's a strong lane. I mean, I guess that's the good thing about beating Omni Knight, because he's a bad laner, so pick a strong laner so you can win the lanes, which is what Witch Doctor will give you. But yeah, then the Death Ball Bog kind of strategy works very well with Veno and Witch Doctor.
Well, we gotta see what they want to get. If they're not gonna have the lockdown available for your Witch Doctor, they go for the Outworld Devourer.
Okay. Not a disable still, but you know, a hero that can ultimately build a Hex when needed. I think it's a good mid to have with the Lifestealer, because you can, you know, you can't really rely entirely on Lifestealer. We used to always talk about, you know, these single core Lifestealer drafts look really bad, and it's still kind of the same thing where you need other cores who can do damage, because Lifestealer is going to get kited. But I think Keen's last pick needs to be some proper disable.
This is an off-lane Venomancer, you think?
Yeah, it's probably a 3-position Veno. Or it could be a 3 Lifestealer with Veno played in the safe lane. I think it's, you know, the 3 and the 1 kind of can be interchangeable. Like we saw it last game where Sven was their 3 position, but he kind of, was he really their 3? I would argue he was more their 1 position. So a lot of these, you know, farm assignments 1-3 position it's more about matchups than anything, which is where they want to lane the Veno against the Ursa, they want to lane Lifestealer against the Weaver, even though, you know, Lifestealer versus Weaver's not like an amazing matchup, but he'll farm fine against Weaver. And actually better against Weaver than he used to be, because you can rage off the bug. It doesn't hit spell immunity anymore.
Well, it looks like EHOME know that Earth Spirit, one of the good available options out there to King Gaming if they did want to get some extra lockdown or a toolkit that has heavy mobility. And then the Huskar is going to be banned, taken out. So, what does that leave? King Gaming, they go for the Nyx Assassin. All right.
Yeah, I like it better than Earth Spirit, actually. I mean, I saw Earth Spirit bound, I was like, yep, makes sense. That's the kind of hero I would want them to get. But I see Nyx, I'm like, oh, actually a harder counter to Weaver than Earth Spirit, probably, with the ability to carapace him with the Shikuchi, set up your Impale. It's just a maybe weaker laning hero. I mean, Earth Spirit's amazing too. You've got a stun and a silence versus Omni Weaver. I mean, against Shaman, like you need stuns and silence against these heroes. But and that's where Nyx, you know, you've got just the 1 Impale. We'll see how he fares here, as Impale is going to be the way they look to create that lockdown they need to deal with this Weaver, and even stop things like the Shadow Shaman shackles. So pick's gonna continue to roll out here. Last pick for EHOME. No Huskar available. That would have been that kind of last pick cheese hero. And they are looking for someone to lane against the OD, which is where, you know, heroes like Razor kind of come to mind. or at least having someone that isn't going to be a melee hero that gets destroyed by the Astral, the Arcane Orb as well. So someone that can kind of sit back as well. And ASD going to bust out his Shadow Fiend. Saw it a few days ago. This guy loves playing Shadow Fiend. He's very proficient on this hero. And curious to see how he does. He's going to be playing that Shadow Fiend versus OD matchup. They've got the Nyx for pretty much all their control. So Keen's very reliant on this Nyx, but I think both teams putting together some pretty solid drafts.
All right. Oh, great. Yeah, the Swag Fiend coming out there at the end. I like that. That'll be fun to watch. Sorry, I may have missed your little
They're good.
run off right there.
Don't worry.
But all right.
That's on me. Well, that's not on me. It's on anyone.
I probably didn't shut the
That's
door
like-
over there, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got shut and
Yeah,
underway. All right. So, Keen Gaming already have the game one advantage here, but do we think they can close this out on a 2-0? You know, they finally managed to pull together with the Nyx at the end, but is it too much riding on the Nyx to kind of get everything set up and started? Because that's kind of what happened with EHOME in the previous game. So
I think there's a lot riding on him, but it's Kaka again. I believe in him. And I think the lanes look really solid when the Witch Doctor doesn't give him lockdown, but they're playing it into Omni Knight, who's a weak laner. Shaman can be hit or miss in the lanes. If you're against like a dual lane, tri lane, like Shaman can struggle a bit when he doesn't have an easy one. So I'll give Keen Gaming a small edge once again.
all right. We'll see if they can do it here. And Shadow Fiend versus Outworld Devourer, I assume, is the mid lane matchup, right? So how does that go? I feel like that's naturally good for Outworld Devourer. He used to be a part of that Holy Trinity with like Razor and Viper and such.
Yeah,
But the Shadow Fiend kind of turned over a new leaf in the mid game.
as far as the pure 1v1 goes, if it's a straight 1v1, I almost think Shadow Fiend has a small edge, but we'll probably see some supports poking around. If SF can get the souls up early, he just has better damage. But before those souls, OD's got the advantage.
Yeah, before those souls. Let's get some soul-crushing Megadeth music here. Ready to get hyped up and ready, folks. WESG 2019 action. Let's go. EHOME versus Keen. Someone's gonna make a lot of frickin' money and make the homeland proud, baby. Let's go. It's the year of the pig.
Right. Well, do you reckon WG composed that themselves, or is
I
that
feel like they
something
went
they just-
online and searched free trademark rock music and got that. .mp3.
This is also China, so maybe they didn't search with the free part too.
Oh yeah, true.
China copyright stuff? Nah.
Never. All right, couple of wards out. As we could see, a trade between both mid lanes. I didn't see who saw it first. Oh, they both know what's going on. Like,
I
you
think-
want to get my ward? I'll get your ward.
Yeah, sometimes people are smoked up for this. Last game it was the Chen who dewarded mid lane, but this is very common to plant these high ground wards.
You come take this ward.
Seriously.
Swear to God, don't do it. Look at this instructor. He's like, I'm gonna go and try to find it. Oh, he's on the other side.
He is on the other side. Does he
Oh,
really?
Wrong
wanna be
side,
there?
buddy. Oh, he's gonna get flanked. What have
Yeah,
you done?
Weaver's coming in. He needs help. Somebody bail him out. Yeah, it's
Team, I may have gone
good
too
tango,
far.
good tango.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh, the
Coconut.
cast in
oh,
bounce
no.
luck.
Oh god.
But
Two
nice.
stuns to bail him out. That sticky sit. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you going over there? I guess he didn't have quite an idea of where the enemy ward was, but
Yeah, I think they were both smoked when they planted it. It's one of those like you hope to get your ward down first and then you smoke, but before you smoke, and then if the smoke pops, you know they're there, or you may know they maybe planted a ward, but no D ward happening in the mid lane. Sometimes it's mind games too. Like if you didn't see them plant the ward and you drop your sentry, it suddenly feels pretty bad, and you're better off saving your sentry for like dewarding a pull camp or something.
all right. Well, before we get to that, bit of a pause comes out. The block party in the mid lane seems roughly neck and neck, maybe a slight favor for the OD on this one as they break away from the ward shenanigans. Does look like the Omni Knight is going to be taking his business up towards that top lane here. So Nyx and Venomancer going against. This is an aggro lane setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is them, I think, trying to get this laning matchup they wanted. They want the Veno versus Ursa, and they're going to get it. So this should favor Keen Gaming.
So Keen can kind of get away with a winning lane advantage with only having the two participants there. That'd be huge, leaving them to have what looks like Old Chicken, Lifestealer, bottom lane joined by Witch Doctor. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, this is where you often see teams trying to scout the lanes so you can get the lanes you want, and no one really did because of all the mid lane shenanigans. And the end result is King Game is going to have a better laning matchup. They've got the rock music back. Is this the pause music?
I couldn't tell if this was. I think that this is just their music pack, like the Dota music pack.
Okay.
I think they've picked the Dota music pack and they turn it up louder than most people. Oh, take that jacket off, boy!
He got told, he's like, you guys are coming on camera.
Oh. He did one of these classics like, oh crap, I'm on camera. Oh, never mind. Yeah, so we'll hold things out. We don't have to go on camera.
It's all right. Their venue must be pretty cold.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got the jacket on, I think.
Did they say what arena it is in China or anything?
Sure. If it's one we were at for the major, that venue was pretty freezing cold as well.
I guess the only one I know is like the Mercedes-Benz Arena or whatever.
That's Shanghai. We're back in CQ.
Oh. That's right, ChongQing. That's right.
Yeah, it's the new esports hub, Shanghai, that's a thing of the past. Well, I guess
so.
they still have TI, but this is going to be back-to-back events in Chongqing.
Wait. I don't want you guys to be fooled. We're not back in the game yet. That is a skip in the time matrix. All right, we should actually be back in the game now. Come on, WSG, get with the times. All right, we know what. We'll jump in without them. We don't need them right now. We'll wait for them to get back in and underway as the lanes just finally meet. There they are. Meeting with us. You don't want to be subjected to my observing. Certainly not. So, okay, here we go. Underway as the lanes get matched. Swag Fiend coming out. It would make my night to see a classic old triple raise.
Yeah. He played at one of the games like us on day one. He was playing Shadow Fiend and had a pretty damn good game. He farmed a lot. He got solo kills, but they ended up losing still.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to see how he does.
All right, and yeah, Shadow Shaman, Weaver, Witch Doctor, Lifestealer. Nice 2v2 here. Lane pull, wonderfully done.
Yeah. You kind of have to when you've got this bad lane matchup. You need to pull creeps, mess with equilibrium, do all the little tricks you can.
Yep, and neck and neck as far as the mid lane for now. OD's getting the slight deny advantage. Obviously being able to kind of put your opponent under, assists you quite a bit in being able to deal with the CS. And unfortunately another pause. And I don't speak the language, so I'm not sure exactly. It seems like just a little bit of a lag issue, but...
Yeah, they're still in the game, but there's some DCs, reconnects, and all that, so not sure exactly what it is, but nothing too crazy in this early game laning stage. Mentioned King Gaming perhaps getting matchups they wanted. Lifestealer versus Weaver, it should be actually a pretty even-ish matchup. I think with the Feast, you can kind of have enough sustain.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Weaver has like a slight 55-45 edge, but the Witch Doctor's there, which is a strong support to have. So,
yeah, what is he going to build, I wonder? I mean, obviously you can start with the Coconut, but I've been seeing some Meldict Witch Doctor. Yesterday, I believe I saw a little Meldict Witch Doctor. Is that the play now? Or is it maxing it out, I guess, the play?
Yeah, I feel like level 2 he might get Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
And so the big nerf that Maledict got kind of reverted. He got that Maledict cooldown where it went up to 50 seconds at level 1, and now it's back to 30 seconds, so that's
quite significant, actually.
Yeah.
50 to 30?
Witch Doctor's being played every game, and this level 1
Wow.
Maledict with its, I think it used to have like a 20-25 second cooldown, got mega nerfed, and now he's back to kind of where he was. But I think Voodoo level 2 makes sense, so you're playing like a farm lane, you're not looking for kills. Lifesteal is not like a kill combo, so we'll probably see Voodoo for the sustain, and then Maledict pretty good against heroes like Ursa. So maybe we want Maledict.
All right, let's get underway. Let's get the action going here. There are some people, I'm sure, out there thirsty for some Dota.
Yep.
And the coconuts are starting to fly already, trying to bully back this Weaver if possible, and now he's going to have to CS under the tower. Constant battle of the pull camps, no surprise. Here we see our Ursa friend having to deal with what has got to be an incredibly annoying and frustrating lane.
Yep. Not fun at all for him. That's probably that and the bottom lane, the two lanes most likely have some action. I would say less so bottom, although it does look like they are trading hits a lot down bottom, fighting over a neutral camp.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You are right. Looking to fight on forward. In the meantime, you see the Lifestealer taking them down, and the Weaver spawns one of his own. 1-to-1 trade already. take my support, I'll take yours. How about that?
Shaman got a bit greedy fighting over the neutrals and paid for it with his life, but getting a 1-for-1 trade, not the worst. And also, one of the, I think, underrated aspects of dying as a support is you get to bring your cores back their items. Because mid lane is so regen focused. Your mid is hogging that courier, buying tangos, salves, mangoes constantly. So he actually came back to lane with double Wraith Band. So Weaver actually has a better lane because of his death.
Yeah, try telling your support that's the advantage in a pub. Don't worry, dude. You can come bring me my items.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Because particularly SF mid, he's a hero that will buy a lot of mangoes, a lot of salves, will trade red clicks a lot, so he needs that courier 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And they're still pretty neck and neck on that CS game, so they're sweating it out in that mid lane, it looks like, pretty severely. With the Venomancer kind of etching out in the CS game overall. Actually, Lifestealer's right there.
Weaver's TPing top. He says, enough at bottom. I'm going top. I want this easier lane.
All right.
But what ends up happening if Ursa now TPs bottom himself is Venom can just TP bottom, theoretically.
Okay.
I wonder if we'll see them match these TPs. So, yeah, Ursa now in the bottom lane, but if King Gaming want, they just swap these lanes. They've got TPs.
Show each other yet. Okay, so now the call's been made, likely. Something's going on. Looks like Ursa's bottom. Venomancers, though. I've been farming for a bit, Weaver. Feel my poison.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, you've got better lane matchups on EHOME, but Veno has levels now. A level 4 Veno versus Weaver is going to do a lot better than a level 1 versus level 1.
That obviously doesn't help things, it looks like, unfortunately. They are going to get the jump onto the Shadow Shaman after that Ursa rotation.
Yep.
Punishing him, trying to manipulate that wave.
And even Lifesteal isn't as afraid of the Ursa now that he's got a few levels. Has his boots up already. Actually, no, he doesn't have his boots. He's got the Blades of Attack. He's almost got his phase boots completed.
Knight continues to bail out his Weaver companion here. Oh.
Hasted Nyx, that's dangerous.
Yeah, set up for the mid lane here. Good shot in, and they're going to just swarm around the Shadow Friend.
He's like trying so... Oh, gets him with the carapace. He was trying so hard to like not miss the Impale, and he's like, wait, I don't even need to hit this Impale.
All right, beautiful setup. Good rotation over. And that lane had been pretty neck and neck for a while, but that will definitely tilt things in the favor of EHOME, which is good because it's been an awkward situation for their side lanes.
Here come bounty runes, though. 5 minutes in.
True. That could change the economy quite a bit, and they're already sweating over it here. Omni Knight. I'm in passing. Don't worry, I'm going for yours, buddy. What are you going to do?
That's smart. If you're contesting...
What?
Oh, he's going to get both?
Oh, the stun is just long enough for the Beetle Man to creep in front. He even eats the refreshing mango afterward. It's nice.
And it's smart to ignore him, because if you contest bounty runes against a hero with a stun, they're going to stun you, grab the bounty rune, then get the other one. So you just don't contest bounty runes 1v1 against heroes with stuns.
All right, we got 2 catapults here for EHOME side. Look at them go and get frisky now. Ursa gets stunned, hitting a spot. He tries to slap it out onto Old Chicken a bit, but Maldic damage starting to curse through. And one more tick should do it, right? He's done for. Is he? Is he? No.
He lived?
No, he
That's
lived.
level 1 Maledict only. So level 3 Witch Doctor went for the 1/1/1. So I guess, yeah, he probably got Voodoo level 2, and then he's like, okay, I want Maledict. This spell does damage.
Yeah.
I'm going to now max it out.
Surprise! Shadow Shaman from behind! Look at them, look to get some revenge on the EHOME here in the mid lane, and they do so. Takedown belongs to Omni Knight on that one. It's how many people here? 3, 4? It seems like 3.
The whole crew.
Everyone kind of getting in on that one. I love that little Lifestealer taunt. The Homer Simpson.
So, as it stands, pretty even lane stage. Small edge coming out for EHOME with some of these kills in the mid lane, giving the OD some trouble.
Yeah, Omni Knight has gone cross-country, it looks like. He was with that Ursa at the start, at the top. Speaking of top lane, we were able to kind of get the upper hand onto that Venomancer. And, our Shadow Fiend found himself the little Witch Doctor. Here comes Omnipal, able to bail him out with the heals, trying to cross them up a bit, but they do not stop their chase. They get their finish of the Shadow Fiend, and they're not done yet. Now they're looking to go for the Omni Knight. Ursa looking to step in, tries to slow him down, but it's a big OD. There's the coconut, stops the bear.
Got the bounce too, back to the Ursa.
Oh, goodness. They get the finish, and Odie's heading out the other direction.
Oh, that's such a lucky bounce. He had phase boots on Ursa, so if he doesn't get the double bounce on Ursa, I think Ursa may just chase down the OD for a kill there. But, you know, that's the beauty of the Witch Doctor sometimes.
Oh, now Lifestealer, Witch Doctor putting their sights onto the Ursa a bit. Yeah, Lifestealer also farming his way through that bottom lane during that period. And, oh, the OD's back.
Well,
quickly hit him with the Hex.
The Shackles help saves the Ursa there, but he'll pay for it with his life.
Get the Shaman.
Oh, that's a brave ward. I don't think you normally want to plant wards in front of the enemy as you're dying, but if they didn't have you clicked, they may not have realized, but I would...
3 or 4 there. I'm sure one of them clicked them.
Yeah, I would generally not advise doing that one, but hey, you could get away with it.
This is my tombstone.
Sometimes it's really obvious too, because your hero head turns to plant the ward before you keep running, so it's like super obvious you planted a ward with your turn rate. But
yeah,
we'll see. For now, the ward still stands. Maybe they, maybe he'll get away with it.
Friend back to the mid lane now. So it was temporarily open. We take a glance at the net worth, and the 2 big breadwinners now are the Lifestealer and OD, holding top for EHOME here.
Yep. Yeah, King Gaming have bounced back after a few kills in the OD. They've made some great rotations. OD, not a hero known for roaming, but, he says, why not? I've got level 4 Astral. That's a decent 325 damage nuke. It's, a defensive tool as well. It's a pretty low cooldown. I can actually, make something happen and have an impact moving around the map.
Wonder if they want to do any addressing to this Venomancer situation at all. And what's his build up here? Is he full ward? He is. It's, I've been seeing a lot of these Venomancers going all in on the ward play. Happy to just kind of use them to get the free lane to themselves. It feels like it costs so much effort to kind of start to bring them down at that point, but EHOME are here. They want to take this lane back. They approach the Venomancer, can't get quite close enough. A nice rotation in, a good stun setup there from the Nyx Assassin, but they are still going to be able to at least get the catch. A nice bailout temporarily, though, but they finally get him down. It takes so much effort.
He hit him with the Shikuchi from below the trees.
I guess a mild AoE.
Thought he was going to live there.
Ground, but oh, he lives on. Good heal there from the Omni Knight.
Oh, nice
and
save,
the Weaver heads up the other direction. They will make the Omni Knight pay. But they don't see the Weaver out the other side, and he's going to live on.
Bounty Rune's coming up as King Gaming with those kills top. Should be able to get both these top ones, but bottom lane is where perhaps things are going to get a bit juicy. The scan scouts out the Lifestealer.
Grabs the Bounty, and they shackle him up. Should be easy.
Yep.
Easy slash.
He does get it at least, dies for it. The quick hex wasn't quite quick enough, but dying for a Bounty Rune is worth it when you're a support. As a core Lifestealer this game, trying to get Midas, probably not worth it, but also it's closer to being like an even trade. Bounty Runes are a lot of team gold.
All right, well, before the Venomancer was able to kind of do his quota of taking down that top lane, it looks like they've decided to do a little bit of a swap-areno. They put Venomancer towards the mid lane to start working away on that mid-tier 1, and OD is now going to be residing in the top lane. He's had some free farm for a while now.
It's a very fun game to play Veno at this stage because there's nothing that really kills you unless you get disabled from Fog, which is what happened top where he got Hex and Shackled. Playing mid, as long as you've got Plague Wards in those trees, you're going to see anyone rotating in. And until Ursa has a blink, or Shaman gets a blink, which is miles away, you're kind of unkillable.
And it's fine if they do approach you. And this is like what I always say for Venomancer. It's like it takes so much effort, and then he's likely going to spam his R button, and after it's all said and done, you're likely weak and wounded, and you have to restore yourself, and it's just a huge ordeal to have to engage on a Venomancer, even if it's just him. Well, looks like they are able to get the grab.
That was the first Vendetta gank of the game. Both Witch Doctor and Nyx were level 6. And we're 11 minutes in, but often you'll see maybe one support not quite level 6.
Yeah.
Depending on who didn't get the experience tome.
King Gaming got more opportunities to go for kills, so they'll take him.
Yep. That's earn charges as well for Kaka. They did buy double earn, which is a bit of a mistake on the King Gaming side, but not the end of the world.
Amateurs. Yep. All right, here we go. Tower takedown. Should be no problem at all, but
they're a little afraid here. They don't quite finish this one off all too well.
It looks like they're nervous about possible EHOME members within the trees, but
Lifestealer's like, I want this tower.
Oh!
Witch Doctor gets it. Dark's like, all right, I'll take it.
Don't worry, boss.
You just don't want to deny. Anyone taking it's good.
True. Now they're looking through the trees. They're not going to be finding any EHOME members hanging out in there. So, you know. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. And he drops the wards as well. Taking all my money.
Do they want to farm these? No, they want to get the hell out.
It's too awkward of a spot. Okay, they are going to be able to get the one little snipe right there. Weaver moves in, snipes down the Witch Doctor. Now Old Chicken could be next. Both the Weaver and Ursa on the chase. Old Chicken.
Weaver, Ursa, some pretty good chasers.
OD en route, but not going to make it close enough.
That's right. He's got his Midas. It's on cooldown, so he's not wasting Midas efficiency at least. And King Gaming are, after that tower kill and a couple other hero kills before that, still with a decent net worth lead, just 13 minutes in. But we'll see what EHOME can have to say about that one. They're really going to need to get a lot out of this Ursa Blink, which after the Midas is halfway there, so he's not too far away from it. They're going to be pretty scary when they get this mid-game timing. Like Ursa Blink, Weaver Diffusal, they'll suddenly be very, very strong.
Yeah, there is kill potential, though, for Keen. I mean, I imagine they're going to keep wanting to use this Vendetta now that it's online. And already they're back on the prowl here. Oh, but he ran right into a very fortunate spot. 3 members of EHOME just there waiting for him.
Yeah, you can see the mini-map. A lot of Radiant sentries planted around the map. Nyx has kind of disappeared for a bit, but the way people used to deal with them is you just plant these sentries next to Observer Ward, so you see when he enters your base, enters your jungle, because you've got that Observer vision with a sentry ward, and then you can just hunt him down. Nice job by EHOME, although they are spending a lot of money on sentries. They've got 5 sentries on the map right now. Sentries do not come cheap.
No, they do not. In the meantime, it does look like Keen were able to secure that bottom tower. Easy stuff for the Venomancer. Had some help nearby just in case, but looks like there's going to be nothing to come of it. Meanwhile, top.
Veno is very farmed and very tanky with this Sange. He's going straight Halberd, which is a great counter to Ursa and Weaver.
Yep. And here's our Ursa friend saying, I'm going to pay a visit to Roche.
Did not smoke in. We'll see if he actually feels confident enough to do this. Without the smoke, this is kind of brave.
There is no vision, it looks like, so, he didn't know that, though.
Yeah, they haven't, properly... He doesn't have vision as well, though, is the thing. Like, if you're in there and you haven't dewarded, but you have an Observer Ward yourself, so you can see people coming, you feel okay, but neither side having vision, he backs off because he's scared. Yeah, you're against Nyx. Like, there could just be a Vendetta Nyx on you. And then they scout it with a Plague Ward, so they confirm no Roche going on.
What if those keep Venomancer in that jungle area, planting a ward there every once in a while, just to make sure that it's going to be in constant check. No EHOME shenanigans to try to creep it from behind their back here.
Yeah, if you can keep a Plague Ward in there as much as possible, you feel pretty good about yourselves. But Ursa goes in, clears out the Plague Ward now. But then, it's like, well, I've been scouted. Is he really going to go for Roche? They still have no vision. All this Radiant vision is entirely defensive. They have these Observer sentries littering their side of the map. They're more afraid of the Nyx than they are, hungry to get kills. And that's a bad sign for me when you're playing this defensive, when you're about to get some, key items up.
Yeah, the Nyx goes down there one time, seizes a ward, and he just doesn't go down there again.
Yeah,
he's been hanging with his team or checking out the top half of the map.
He's died one sole game. Think how much money they've spent on all these sentries. That's far more than the gold they got for that one Nyx kill.
Pops the carapace as he goes to the high ground. This man is definitely scarred.
And even they've got 4 Observer Wards on the map, and I would say one, maybe close to 2 of them are planted in a way where they can make plays around them. It just doesn't feel like the ideal way to have vision, but we'll see. EHOME can still use smokes and get active. They're going to get these items here. They're just going to have to be a little more creative with their aggression because they're going to not have vision of all these heroes.
All right, it does look like EHOME are going to take some time to come together. They feel like they have this itch feeling that they got to get the Roche done or try to get the Ursa involved in something so they can follow it up with the Roche. Top lane seems to be where the action could kick off here. Our Ursa friend is going to be spotted out. The stun is there. The open wounds. The right click come out. The astral. And there's the finish.
That's right. He's a pretty good Ursa counter. He pops in rage, you just astral him. Because you can't really kill him when he's in rage. The 80% damage reduction is a lot. Back in mid tower being attempted here.
Yep. Defense from King Gaming here. Not looking to hand over anything too easily. But Shadow Fiend tries to sidestep it. Yules. As the coconut comes in. But then he falls. They got him with the stun. Open wounds. He gets the Requiem off, but he falls shortly thereafter. a Death Ward in his spot. And it is going to be King Gaming clearing out the 2. They did lose the OD, coming in from behind. The Weaver getting some good damage in.
Yeah,
Did
OD
manage to get the finish and the 3 times bounty.
They did good job killing the OD there, because he suddenly got bursted, I think, kind of by surprise. He had the Astral to use defensively, but there was a sudden burst of damage, and he didn't get a chance to use it. With Blink Force stuff, this OD is very scary. Kind of hit this nice little timing himself, but gets caught out on the back lines and ends up being a kind of even trade because King Gaming lose their tier 1 tower. He did get last hit. This Weaver very farmed all of a sudden. Level 13, Diffusal, partway to a BKB. So this Weaver is going to be a big threat, but always difficult playing against the next assassin. And we're seeing him hunt up top. Oh, he's hunting. He really wants him.
I don't know if he could do a lot himself here.
Missed
they
the
get
Carapace.
The dust, but yeah, no Carapace stun. He just rounds the corner, time lapses, and is out the other side.
Yeah,
Gink.
that's so tricky to get that Carapace done because he's on top of him. So once he Shikuchis, you instantly take damage, and it's too late to Carapace because you've taken the damage from Shikuchi. It's not going to damage you again.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Quick catch here. On to the Venomancer, and he's not even going to get the ulti off, or he already had it off. It was on cooldown still. Meanwhile, there goes the commitment of the Death Ward. Guardian Angel's going to be forced out from the EHOME side to go for a safe route out, but they do lose their Shadow Shaman. Guardian is going to be down, though.
We do see where this OD will not care about the GA as this game goes on. Yeah, you know, you can't do physical damage. Well, he's just going to hit them with the Arcane Orb. He's going to steal Int. He's going to be doing pure damage. But that is a good trade for EHOME. Killing off the Veno there, making sure the Shaman initiates. So he can't Halberd the Ursa. The Halberd comes way too late for them to save the Veno.
Some easy opportunities to go for the Roche or anything here, and I'm not sure how much that's like scratching at the back of the neck of EHOME at this time.
Yeah, they would love to have an Aegis in their hands. Anytime you have an Ursa and you're not getting Roshan, you don't quite feel like you're doing what you set out to do by picking the hero.
So they have to keep kind of just working with that area, but keep the top lane pushed forward as much as possible, and the mid lane to kind of match it.
And the worrying thing is, yeah, this King Gaming had like a 2, 3, 4K gold lead that's disappeared, but it disappeared while they farm with Lifesteal. His Radiance is almost complete. He's 800 gold away from it, and that's when they get a whole lot scarier. So the fact that EHOME's pulled back closer now is nice, but they haven't been able to punish the Lifestealer and just King Gaming as a whole for playing this greedy farm style. Like, there's this stage of the game where Lifesteal is, 2, 3K gold away from Radiance, where you just can't fight. And that's where teams with picking Lifesteal lose the game. But they've managed to gain some ground, but just not quite enough, maybe.
So Keen probably going to look to play this one patient until they get that big Radiance online.
Yep. Very close now. Elsewhere, Veno with a Force Staff following his Halberd. OD, still the same items. Blinks, Dagger, and Force Staff himself. Nothing too crazy from their items.
Ursa parked into the trees here, but it's just him alone. Yeah. King Gaming is kind of keeping things pushed out and forward, but not being too proactive at the moment. But there is rotations coming towards this bottom lane. Shadow Fiend there. Nyx to make it out. It does succeed.
Sam was a little too far.
Oh, not able to get the cancel.
Yeah, and SF using the Yule Scepter to initiate ends up, blowing the one disable they had for Nyx there. But it wasn't going to be an easy kill. The timing wasn't quite right with all the heroes arriving, and we'll see what both look to do now. Lifestealer's Radiance is coming out on the courier, so it's online. And Radiance scared that Rosh. That you send 4 heroes bottom, you're suddenly a little bit worried, like, wait, did they in Roshan or something? Dire team does not take Rosh fast, so I don't think they really needed to scan the Rosh pit there. That was perhaps a little bit too reactionary, but you do sometimes worry when you rotate everyone bottom when you're Radiant that suddenly you've set yourself up to lose Rosh.
Yeah. That just means they definitely really care about it.
Absolutely. They want to get like a smoke kill into Roshan. Like, if they kill one core, they don't even need to win a team fight. Just killing one hero should be enough to secure your Roshan. But problem is right now King Gaming can scout Rosh so easily that you're not going to be able to sneak a Roshan. It doesn't feel like.
Curious what they're waiting for. You know, the BKB's now done on the Shadow Fiend. He's got the full 10 seconds at the ready here, so.
And Weaver's too. He's only 200 gold away. They're actually really strong when they get double BKB.
This, I guess. Wait, you said the Weaver does have it now? Oh, he's close.
Close, yeah.
He's close. Okay, so it must be that. Must be that. 2 BKBs having it together, and then they can go for their own fight. So both teams going to be very strong. Both teams going to have their own power peak.
And these BKBs destroy King Gaming.
Yeah.
Like Lifesteal's Radiance. That's something you're not worried about the mischance and also the damage of it. OD can't fight into BKBs. Veno doesn't really find the BKBs.
All right. I don't know if they know that, though. I don't know if they know that those BKBs are online and ready. They've probably seen the Shadow Fiend one, but...
They're very reliant on Kaka now. He needs to be the guy that wins them this game. He needs to be stunning people before BKBs come out. But he's going to be running into a sentry if he's not careful.
Oh, gosh. They're going to run right on through, and they could see the train here of EHOME. Oh, immediate Hex. Immediate Hex.
No follow-up.
He goes in, Rage, puts his focus fully onto the Shadow Shaman. A Guardian Angel is going to be coming out. They couldn't quite get the finish of the Witch Doctor. On the other side here, moving in, the Venomancer tries to set up the Poison Nova. The BKBs are going to get popped, and that's when King go, whoa! And they run back the other direction, not liking what they're seeing, as fully formed EHOME crash their party and run them right out of town.
They just have zero answers for BKB right now. Their lineup doesn't solve BKBs whatsoever. Their only way to fight into BKBs is with Nyx Assassin stunning people, and then you burst them before they pop BKB, but even their burst damage isn't that impressive. It's not like they have the Ursa that can burst someone down. Lifestealer Radiance Midas is not particularly good burst damage. They're going to lose Roshan because of it, and 4 kills go EHOME's way. But, you know, the longer this game drags, those BKBs will get shorter. Eventually, OD gets a Hex, which is a good way to solve the BKB problem.
Yeah.
But that's, again, the game has to drag a lot, and just one fight, it's a 4K gold lead. A few more fights, it could be a 10, 15K gold lead. So this is a very EHOME favored game for now.
Yeah. Curious, like, what you do when you're King, because you're right, there is hopes that the BKBs will get dwindled down. You can go for the later chapter, but to get those BKBs down mean that you have to take fights, but you don't want to take fights because they have BKBs. So, yeah, you got to get scrappy, I guess, in a way. So... I'm curious if they're going to find those kind of opportunities or not. Here, it's just what looks like more opportunities for EHOME to scrap their own kills as they've spotted the Nyx Assassin here. But I imagine as EHOME, is there any reason for them not to just kind of stay as a collective for the rest of the game?
No, it may as well. You keep fighting as 5. Take advantage of the fact you're so strong with these BKBs. The only time you split up is if you're dealing with split push, which is not something King Gaming's draft does very well. So we'll see them playing grouped up Dota most likely. They're going for a 3rd BKB. It looks like XinQ has it queued up on Ursa.
Dang, that and the Omni Knight.
Yeah,
it's just like so much mitigation available to him.
A little surprised he didn't get the Basher. Goes for Sanjin Yasha instead. So wanting to have more status resistance, more movement speed. I mean, you're getting kited a bit, so the movement speed definitely helps.
Right, long smoke run all the way up. Looks like they were trying to hunt down that OD, but he does manage to TP out to join his team in the mid lane. And, no surprise to see EHOME have the advantage at this point. When they hold the Aegis, they can kind of just take over Keen's turf now, plant down their own wards, and totally try to neuter the resource farm availability for Keen in this one.
Yep. They've done such a good job of littering the map with sentries. As much as it costs them a lot of money, strategically it's been worth it. Even if they've only killed Nyx 3 times, those kills have set up so much. It won them that team fight. That Nyx didn't stun anyone.
Time to push into the high ground, though. It looks like EHOME are saying, let's take this to a game 3. And we'll have to see if the hold can be there from Keen. Immediate Hex jumping from Ursa. He gets stunned up, though. Maledicted. The heals. Now the commitment from the wards comes out. Still trying to go for the finish. They can't quite get that Aegis, so Healy lives on.
Oh, the last tick though.
Oh, no.
Bring him down.
Spoke too soon.
Aegis the
is
Aegis.
going to be expired. All right.
And he actually had MKB queued up before that, and right as he's dying to Maledict, he's like, all right, I'm getting BKB.
All right.
He had BKB queued up, went to MKB, now I was like, okay.
Well, all that effort only gets him a couple of scratches on the tier 3. Nothing too exciting. Nothing to really boast about there if you're EHOME.
Nope. With Veno, it's very difficult to push.
And they did use a BKB there as well, and they may have to use it again. As they make the approach onto the OD, they hit him with the X. Shackles, he pops the BKB. Neverend wants to run in to finish his plate. Can't quite get it yet. Meanwhile, Ursa does his own job cleaning his plate, takes out Dark. There's the finish of the OD, a.k.a. the long dash.
Yeah,
now Weaver, you know, he's a man who can get away with a hit and run, no problem.
And he took that OD out from the back lines with his BKB. If it's not 9 seconds, he probably can't do that because OD has to defensively Astral since Weaver's still BKB'd, so those kind of kills are nice, but you're still thinking if you're EHOME that how long can they last? When we get down to 5 seconds, can we really play, can you play that aggressive with a 5-second BKB? Not really.
No.
But as long as they're getting further ahead right now, they don't mind that they're using their BKBs, which is pretty much the case.
BKBs need to lead to at least kills that need to lead to objectives so that this game could just advance. You don't want to be having to still take down outer towers and your BKBs are on 5 seconds now. That bottom lane has a tier 1 and a tier 2 still standing. There's free money. EHOME, get down there. Get the money.
Yeah, Roche number 2 is kind of their big timing where they look to go high ground, but for now they're going to look to take these outer towers. Like you said, these are the towers that you don't expect to have defended. If you have a Sentry Ward so Nyx can initiate, there's not much King Gaming can do to start a fight.
Committing the wards for the second tower here. And it looks like King Gaming are not having it. They want to try to slow it down as much as possible. They get in the Lifestealer to get some of that Serpent Ward gold.
Zinq Ursa is going to BKB of his own now.
Oh, hard-hitting shots here. Almost managed to take down the Nyx Assassin. Now they look to swing on in. They're going to pop the BKBs here to King Gaming, create enough space between themselves to avoid the onslaught. Not yet. They lose the OD. Immediate buyback going to be there, and the buyback from the Nyx Assassin too. EHOME realizing this,
with a cast.
Try to turn, run out the other direction. Get hit with the cast. They locked in their spot. The Shadow Fiend going to be going down. Look at this. Shadow Shaman tries to come in from behind with the Shackle, and then from the high ground tries to make it out, but they catch him. They catch him with the Shadow Realm, and they take him out. King Gaming managed to scrap down 4 members of EHOME who are trying to push forward and through this Tier 2 tower.
It cost him a double buyback, but considering that BKBs were used and the gold change was in your favor, despite buying back twice, it was still a 2k gold swing and some big experience. The experience change, 10,000 almost experience to 2.8. That's where, you know, you're getting these kills, you're getting all these levels out of it. It is so worth it for King Gaming. That 2-man cask under the tower, it was like max bounces on only heroes. It was the Weaver +1, I think it was the SF, both just bouncing back and forth, getting chain stunned, and that destroyed them. Great use of the buybacks, and, well, I question their lack of control. Apparently, Dark, if he can keep getting casts like that, which is that godly, he'll be just fine. He gets level 15 and doesn't get the cast bounces, goes for the GPM. I don't blame him. You know, the GPM is pretty much just straight up better in every single situation, and I don't think he can expect to get cast like that again.
Man, it looked like EHOME as well tried to, they saw the buybacks and tried to immediately turn and run as well. Like they recognized like, okay, this could get bad for us, but yeah, like you mentioned, because of the coconut,
they ran into each other.
Can't go.
Yeah,
It was just perfect, quick execution and timing there for King Gaming. These kids are scrappy, so don't count them out.
And it came up around bounty. The fight was won at bounty runes, so 3 of the 4 bounty runes were picked up by King Gaming, so they get another like 1,000 gold swing out of that.
All right.
Suddenly it's gone from like a 6-7k gold lead to a 2k-ish gold lead.
What's like once these BKBs go down, like what is the second chapter for EHOME to kind of have a power peak in this one though?
Ursa's Bash is always a good one. I think some of these late game talents, like, you know, a level 25 Weaver with the Shikuchi movement speed can be very impactful.
Yeah.
But I think the next big power peak is really Roshan. If they can get Roche, having Aegis, Cheese, theoretically Refresher Shot if you're looking at 3rd Roshan, but Aegis and Cheese.
All right, EHOME made a call. They want to rotate all the way through to the bottom lane, see if they can get a catch on Keen Gaming if possible here, but Keen not in the area.
And these double halberds, Radiance mischance, all this mischance is so annoying to play against, but that's where, I mean, I think the next peak is also these MKBs, which Weaver has. Ursa has the Basher queued up still, but I think Shadowfiend needs to go for an MKB likely as well.
Yeah, right now he has queued up a Scotty, it looks like.
He's going right-click build. He got the damage per soul at level 20.
Yeah, Saint Yasha and Scotty. That is that's a big stat boy right there.
Normally you see the Shadow Rays damage into cooldown reduction. I imagine he'll still get cooldown reduction at level 25 because it affects your BKB. We talk about BKBs being important. Well,
yeah, it's true. 40% is not a joke either.
But yeah, Scotty into MKB would be, I think, the way to go for SF. But some big items coming up on the Dire side now. These halberds are very annoying. The Nyx, Ghost Scepter Yules, and Lifestealer has an AC queued up after his Basher. So he has a way to actually disable and lock down some of these heroes during BKB, which is nice.
Clock's ticking, though. 2 minutes for the Roche. That might be kind of the, like you mentioned, the big point. EHOME certainly going to be going for here, but Keen will look to contest.
Lifesteal has an evasion talent. I forgot about that. He's at 40% evasion now with the halberd plus talent.
Yeah, MKB seems pretty damn essential. You want to hit that guy.
Yeah. But SF says no, he wants Satanic instead, so he's not going to be right-clicking this Lifestealer much. I mean, that's 40% evasion before the Radiance mischance, too, so throwing that Radiance mischance in, it's even higher. It's closer to 50, 52 maybe.
Never fun. Coin flips chance that you even get to connect any shot whatsoever seems actually absurd.
Weaver, though, has BKB for Radiance and MKB, so he's going to be looking more at, like, 80% success rate. But
all right. We're getting close to the 1 minute mark for the Roche to be up. A big fight here. The winner could earn a huge seismic advantage in this game and an opportunity to make a go for the Roche. And it's going to be EHOME approaching from the southern front. Huge stun from Kaka, though, right on top of their head. Immediate GA going to come out, though, as a response to keep them alive and well. They already lost their Shadow Shaman, though, but they continue to breach into the high ground. They're going to muscle forward, take out the Witch Doctor, buyback for him. Bursting out the Requiem, and I think EHOME did not like how much they were able to do there. They try to retreat, head to the low ground and out, but the Lifestealer just chunks away onto that Shadow Fiend and rips him apart through the other side. The Weaver, so much damage. The Curse, and he is just popped. Keen Gaming, hold it. That Nyx Assassin started things off with a beautiful stun, and then they just kind of coaxed EHOME up into that high ground and just took him apart.
Yeah. I mean, they throw everything. I mean, they throw a few things to kill a Shaman, but Shaman is the lockdown. Without Shaman, they have no control whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee, what a bold play. Catches out another on the high ground. Just goes blinking in blind.
Let's get in there and get it done, boys. Keen Gaming are here.
He had no vision. He's just like, he knows they have this big 5v2 advantage. And he's like, well, I can just blink on high ground. If I find someone, great. If I don't, he just force stuffs back to the low ground. So having blink and force stuff allows him to make brave plays like that.
Buybacks more forced out now. This one from the Omni Knight, and that's enough for Keen to step out. But the Ursa jumps in, and they're thinking about kind of reapproaching this Ursa if possible. If they can kite him around, they do with the Force Staff.
They're not getting any kills here,
Ward's
though.
committed as well.
Buybacks for nothing. Those are the feels bad buybacks.
Yeah.
If you're not getting kills off of buybacks defending your base, you're falling really far behind.
Or how frantic are they going to be to try to make something out of this, though? It could still end up costing them. They're frantic trying to get a hold of the bounty rune. But Jin Q is trying to make it out the left side on his Ursa. On the low ground now, Keen Gaming still holding inside EHOME's territory here.
Who's getting the bottom bounty runes? That's the big question right now. Yeah.
Omni Knight's like, I got it, boys.
Yeah, I think if King Gaming maybe backed off a little sooner, they could have gotten 4 bounty runes, but they're only going to get 1 out of 3 so far. The 4th one's still unclaimed. Probably go Keen's way, sitting there. And Keen themselves say, well, we're not the Roche taking lineup, but we're going to go into Roshan and see what you guys are going to do about it.
That would certainly bring EHOME down a peg. This is one of the tools they would love to have to be able to pull themselves into this, because King Gaming have taken this game back.
They kill it slowly, though, but they have such good kiting around the pit with the Venom Wards. It's so hard to get in even with the BKBs. And with the Force Staffs, if you go in with BKBs and they Force Staff away and you waste your BKBs, you get destroyed in the fight. You have to get maximum value out of a BKB.
11 get some more wards down. They're going to see the bugs. They sidestep them.
Give vision, but it'll help kill Roche. Well, ever so slightly with the minus armor.
They're trying to jump from the straight north side. They have Guardian Angel. The only thing they don't have is those Serpent Wards. Now Ursa moving in, flexes his ultimate, wants to help in trying to finish it. Maybe if he can grab it for himself, but it may have jumped it a bit too early. Beautiful two-man connection of the stun. Now the full Poison Nova going to be going off. Snatching the Aegis is going to be the OD, so it does mean that EHOME are managing to get the last hit on it, and were successful on that one. They pop their Guardian Angel, and they try to shove Keen outside the pit. Keen, though, not going too far. Look for a reapproach here. See Shadow Fiend on the retreat to the high ground to make it out from the high ground. Shadow Shaman has his wards back up, immediately drops them, and tries to make it out.
That's going to be a dieback.
Oh, he's gone. Oh,
and they've still got the Aegis. And all these BKBs on cooldown now. They're pretty lowish cooldowns, like 15, 20 seconds, but we could just see King Gaming look to break high ground. They did commit the lifesteal buyback, so he's going to have to play fairly safe, but considering he's not playing into BKBs, I don't think he's actually too afraid right now. He's got plenty of save. He's got the OD Astral. He's got the stuns from Nyx Assassin, the Venom Slows, the Lotus Orb. He's not feeling like there's too much that can kill him.
The lockdown of the Shadow Shaman's not going to be out there and available. The Guardian's already gone. I mean, Omni's not even there to begin with now. There should be a Rax here for King Gaming. King Gaming now on the verge to 2-0 and take EHOME out of this tournament if this keeps up. You'll set up for the stun, but the BKB is going to be there and flexed.
Nice
Nyx is forced to step out. Lifestealer, though, happy to go ham. Remember, he did buy back, though, so needs to be cautious with what he does. And it looks like now they found the opportunity to go for a reapproach onto the Shadow Fiend after with the Euls.
OD's in so deep.
OD goes down. He already used the Aegis, I guess, so he's gone.
I think you just got to get out of your King Gaming.
Yeah.
Whoa, they're going to buy back?
Back. I think they're hoping to go for closure here if they can.
Okay.
OD,
I don't know about this.
Has to TP, but he's still way out by the Roche pit here, and he's still losing his team here. His team is going to be dead before he gets there. It's just him and the Lifestealer now.
Okay.
Weaver's super low, but I think that might be for nothing.
Puts this game back to a much more even position. I think EHOME's high ground defense was solid there. I don't know if Xingqiu went for the OD Aegis, which was a mistake to me. He used his BKB just to kill an Aegis when he should have been going for the Lifestealer who had no Aegis, had no buyback. Luckily, though, OD dived tier 4s. If OD doesn't dive the tier 4s there, I think that does not go anywhere near as well for EHOME.
Yeah.
EHOME are being forced to use more buybacks. King Gaming being forced to use more buybacks as Nyx now commits his as well. That was kind of just a bit too overzealous, really.
Yeah, I will admit, I didn't even see him lose that first Aegis. I figured he was so brash with that dive to the tier 4 that was his Aegis life, but
it was just he was playing defensive. It was the SF who maybe went too deep not the SF, the Lifestealer, but it was without an Aegis that he suddenly blinked into tier 4s.
Right, EHOME, it looks like successful if their plan was to push to the top lane, drop wards, and force a buyback. That's what happened.
Not a bad play. Oh, the scan. This bounty rune never got picked up, by the way.
Ooh.
This bottom bounty. Weaver, he scanned to see if anyone's there. Can he get there in time? Double bounty. Oh, no. He didn't get the double.
A second away could have had just even that much more. He pings it all, and now like, guys, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, there's an unclaimed bounty rune. Not often you see that in Dota 2.
All right, now, what an interesting game we're in. The BKBs have gotten to that point where, they're going to be all the way down to nothing. It looks like 5 seconds on the Shadow Fiend and 5 seconds on the Weaver. It's, we're going to later innings.
It's pretty 50-50 right now. I think I even ever so slightly would favor King Gaming. When they can get some of these level 25s up, I think their ability to kite with 4 staffs and playing into 5-second BKBs is very strong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on this Weaver to be a really strong force, and level 25 Weaver is very hard to deal with.
He's super close to it.
Yeah, and picks up a Reaver, so he wants a Satanic. That'll be nice with some extra status resist. But next Roshan is key. It's the Refresher Shard as well, which is pretty damn good this game. An Omni GA, maybe even an Ursa with the Enrage BKB. Having 2 BKBs is nice. For Dire side, you've got double OD ult. Surprised OD went for this Glimmer Cape. He just wanted a cheap, cost-effective item, but he's really far off Scythe of Vice, because I think you're looking at King Gaming like their lack of lockdown and initiation. You want the OD Hex, and the fact it's 40 minutes in and you're not very close to it is a little bit worrying for them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Watch this Glimmer pull out the sickest play.
Yeah. And late game, people don't have much detection sometimes with how item slot limited they get.
Right. That was like we were talking about yesterday, like the Sprout factor. Like Sprout gets so much better in the late game because no tangos, no coiling blades.
Like forced to like buy BKB, Battle Fury as a carry just to be able to chop your way out.
All right, well, this was a smoke commitment from Keen here. Maybe to kind of scout out their own perimeter a bit, but not obviously coming across any EHOME members for the time being. And we still got a couple of minutes before that Roche is up.
Yeah. Neither team has much incentive to take risks with Roshan down. And both teams want to play around their side of the map where their vision is. If King Gaming had more vision, or if they had like a Hex, they could play aggressive, but their only way to get pickoffs is with Nyx, and Nyx is, I think, realizing Nyx at this stage of the game you can't afford to die as Nyx. Like it's not, you're no longer in that early game where if you die running through a sentry, it's like, oh, you know, I did my job, I got some vision. You're in late game Dota, Nyx is dead, suddenly your opponents get Roshan. So Kaka can't play like the Hunter Nyx assassin, which is why he even has an Aeon disc queued up, because he knows he needs to stay alive as a Nyx assassin.
Yeah, both these teams are going to be playing things super freaking safe, especially EHOME for match point and single limb. Yep. They are going to be super passive on this one.
Still no SF MKB. You got Satanic and has AC queued up.
What?
Against 50% Lifestealer evasion, against Venno, who has a Halberd as well, so he's got evasion.
So is it only the Weaver who can, like, oh no, okay, Ursa and Weaver, all right.
Yeah.
It's he'll hit towers real hard, yeah. And
yeah.
He'll hit everyone else hard.
He did get the Presence or armor. I'm very surprised by this. This talent kept getting buffed. I think it used to be like -4 or -3 or something, I don't know. But BKB cooldown is just so important, but he says this is a lot of minus armor, and it is a lot of minus armor.
Okay, as the clock ticks on, things are going to get more tense around the mid lane here for the Roche area. And just like that, Keen Gaming thinking about making an approach to the high ground. The longest stretch arm shackle ever to lock in this Nyx assassin. Kaka could be in a bit of trouble. The slide on forward. Jin Q looking for the opportunity to get the open up onto the OD. Can't quite go for the grab. Turns to settle to go for the lifestealer instead. And they start fighting it out right on top of each other. Guardian Angel, 4-step. Everyone just bailing each other out here on the brink of death. Nyx does get dropped at the end of the day. Now Old 11 disperses the big Poison Nova right amongst the team.
BKBs have worn off now too.
Fighting back towards the shrine. And like you mentioned, with the BKBs wearing off, the damage is really going to start to hit it home here for Keen. Trying to fight out and get the Shadow Fiend. Omni does what he can, but they can't do no more. Loses his own life as well, and the rest of EHOME try to frantically be able to make it out. Here's the Weaver around the corner, but they swarm him.
Yeah, he can invis, but they've got a sentry. They'll right-click him down.
Nowhere to go.
That was a big Venno ulti. It just stayed alive, kited them in, no BKBs, and I imagine he did a lot of damage that fight. It was actually the OD topping the damage, but yeah, Venno, Lifestealer both doing around 3.5 to 4k damage. And Radiant just chased a little bit too far. They did some great jobs defensively, saving the Ursa with the Force Staff. They killed the Nyx first at the start of the fight, which is a good way to start a fight, but at the same time, you have to respect the fact that once your BKBs are down, this OD will tear you apart.
Yeah. All right, here comes King Gaming looking to give it another try inside the base. The tier 3 already gone, and now with the Raxus exposed, let's see what they can do. Ether Shocks.
Insta-bash on OD.
Out. OD getting hit up quite hard. The slide to the low ground to be able to make it away. That Glimmer Cape as he tries to fly on out. Looks like he'll make some safe distance for himself, and EHOME are going to be forced to dash back inside where they feel it's safe. Still 50 seconds without a Shadow Fiend here.
Yeah, that was the BKB of Ursa being used to go on OD there. He got the insta-bash and did a lot of damage, but OD just at that point where he's got 27 armor. He can actually kind of survive the initial burst from an Ursa, and they're going to get Rax as a result.
Good, clean clear out of the mid lane for Keen.
You don't want to stick around too long. Roche is coming back up soon, so both teams know that you need to stay healthy. King Gaming clearing out this shrine is very nice, because now if a Roche fight does happen, you don't have that shrine to TP2 to come back and contest if someone dies.
Yep, take care of that. Do the top lane, get that pushed all the way down.
Yeah.
Mid lane is going to get pushed out, obviously, by EHOME as much as possible. Same for the bottom lane. But as long as Keen can kind of get this top lane in order, then the mid lane, then yeah, the Roche should be theirs. But yeah, EHOME not going to try to let it go for free.
Got a double damage on Ursa. Oh. But Roshan has not respawned. A very long
a
Roche
fight.
respawn.
If they can get this fight, they might be able to get
Yeah.
the Roche after.
They
Look at
swooped
this.
by the Roche pit and see nothing. The courier was there, so the courier would have scouted them, or at least scouted out Roche respawning.
Big wraparound play here from EHOME. If they can catch Keen from behind somehow, this could be huge.
Luckily for Keen, that double damage has worn off now. So they're not going to find either Roshan or a team fight with a double damage Ursa.
No.
And Keen just bit of not luck necessarily, but perhaps some fortune going their way that they don't run into the DD Ursa.
This could get awkward soon for EHOME as they are trying to walk themselves back home from this top lane. Look who's waiting in the wings to try to ambush. A jump in, a snipe for the Omni Knight. Get him, boys. He's trying to make it back home. His friends are there. Oh, jump in Venomancer ult.
Wants to maybe force some BKBs, but I don't think that's going to do that at all. No ag, so that's a long cooldown on the...
I was going to say, it's not 60 seconds, right? No.
It's 100.
Yeah, he's... They got him, though. Got him with the stink.
Yeah.
I mean, it is annoying. They have to go back in base, and they probably have to go back to Fountain then and wait and heal, but that's time that they have to take away while the Roche clock ticks. But I'm not seeing Keen go right into the pit or anything. They're obviously taking this one cautiously.
Yep. Not that many heroes with buyback. A few of the cores do. Veno, Knight, Lifestealer, and OD. But a lot of these other heroes do not.
Ooh, look at this. Keen looping in. Thinking about approaching him from behind. They have a Sentry and an Obs Ward right in the middle of the lane.
They'd rather not overcommit when there's no Poison Nova, but big creep with bottom, double siege creep with a lot of range creeps, but the tower will be able to clean this one up, give it enough time. But this will get tower down to half health if no one addresses it, and it does look like King Game
Everybody is just heading
EHOME's
heading east.
Everyone's
heading
ignoring
east.
Roche. This is so bizarre.
Everyone's like, look at that wave down there. We've got to join the party. It's like the fire festival. They run right on over to get a part of the action, and now it's trouble potentially for the Shaman. He's like, it doesn't matter. I got my wards down. I did what I could here. And now the rest of the team is
the
going to try to make up
Weaver.
for it. But as they try to make it out, Weaver locked in a spot, follow-up lockdown with the Abyssal Blade. That bug is squished and out for 2 minutes without a buyback. This looks bad for EHOME here, as they're also going to get a hold of the Omni Knight. He should get finished off. King Gaming could take this and now run themselves straight over to the Roche pit if they'd like, or right across the river all the way to the other side, because that is 100 seconds for 2 heroes to not be in this game.
That was, oh my god, that's kind of heartbreaking for EHOME and how that happens. Like, Weaver gets hit by a Carapace, sure enough. Like, that's not the, I mean, it kind of was the bad thing in the end. But he gets his BKB off, but he's still dying because Death Ward, level 3, does a lot of damage. You're up to 175 damage. Weaver was melting to Death Ward, as well as the bashes from the lifesteal. I don't know how many bashes Old Chicken got, but it was enough to lock him down. And then Omni's like, crap, my Weaver's dying, I go to GA, but he GAs, and he's already dead. So now GA is on cooldown for 80 seconds.
Why, though, did EHOME feel like they had to be at that bottom lane pushing? Like, why couldn't they just let the Lifestealer defend it, and then they be at the Roche area ready to possibly, you know, throw down over there? They're just like...
EHOME's thought process was that King Gaming were protecting Roshan, so nobody was going to defend bottom. So they thought they could sneak like a tier 3 tower. And Serpent Wards is not a very important ultimate for a team fight. It's pretty kind of unimpactful, so they were thinking that they could force TPs back and then they get Roche. Like, if they force 3 TPs, then suddenly they're getting Roche. But that was not the case.
Oh man, certainly was not. King Gaming rotated over just as hard as they did.
Yeah.
Matched them all along the way.
And that was smart, because normally you send one person back to defend, but they sent their entire team.
Oh, buyback here from the Nyx Assassin we saw get taken down right in front of the base. Buyback, or rather BKB, had to be used there from the Ursa. And now look, King Gaming are indoors, and EHOME are not feeling safe. Wards have to be committed.
OD,
there goes the drop of the first ulti there, and that is going to get the first takedown of the Shaman. Buyback looks like it's going to be forced out, and they do manage to get the Aegis off that OD. All right, quick finish of the Venomancer. Buyback for him. King Gaming, a little awkward, need to pull back a bit, not fearing that they need to run outside quite yet. Jumping from the Ursa, the back of his new ultimate, is going to be able to get the finish of Old Chicken. Now Old Chicken buys back. This is Keen now going all in to go for the finish, knowing that it's desperate times now for EHOME here. Guardian Angel comes out, and this could be their final hurrah.
Shadow Fiend trying to survive, hit with the Abyssal Blade, slid in further, tries to right-click, eventually gets popped. He has his final buyback available now.
There's 0 buybacks left.
Weaver is on his last legs, last little Weaver legs, I imagine, trying to force King Gaming back, and it looks like Keen have finally submitted from their push.
Yeah, didn't get any racks. Didn't really get any key kills there. Their gold lead is about the same. And
everybody bought back.
52 minutes and AK gold lead means nothing, and there's no buyback advantage. Like, you know, if you did that and you forced buybacks without having to use yours, yeah, you've got an edge because if you kill someone again, you win the game. But the fact both teams use buybacks means the game remains kind of even, at least very open. Next team to lose a team fight is going to be the one at a disadvantage, or we may just see another team fight like that where nobody wins, nobody loses. Man, teams have not done a good job getting these bounty runes. 52.5, there's a bounty rune sitting down bottom.
Well, Shadow Fiend in that direction right now.
That's a lot of gold at this stage of the game.
Oh, I'll pick it up. He'll take care of it down there. Yeah, I don't know. We could. What if we're going to see another weight to the Roche here?
Yeah, how close is OD to any kind of big item? He's not. Went for Lincolns instead of Hex or Shivers. I guess he just feels like he won't get up to the that item yet, or it'll take too long to get there. And wants protection from the Ursa or Shaman. Ursa with the Abyssal. If he gets Blink Abyssal, it's trouble. If he gets Hex, it's trouble. But I'm not loving the fact they don't have a Hex, but I also get why they feel like they need to itemize elsewhere. Venom could buy. He's got Blink Dagger. Like, he's gonna Orchid queued up. Venom, man, get a Hex. Let's see it.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't mind seeing him have more Hex,
Yeah.
more things to use instead of just I'm an old.
Everyone's 6-0 is the problem. He'd have to get rid of his like Spirit Vessel, I guess, which, to be honest, you probably do get rid of. It's like nice against Omni heal, but not essential. It's pretty useful against the Satanics, though, so it's tricky. It's hard to know like what's the best item options when you get to these late game scenarios.
Yeah. All right, DD at the bottom river, I predict. Yes.
Yeah, every time I see a rune I talk about, I look over, I'm like, oh wait, it's not there for 5 seconds.
Invis at the top.
Yeah.
All right, Omni grabs that one, but Keen do have a damage advantage at the moment if they want to try to utilize it, but both teams are kind of playing pretty safe on their reserve side of the map.
This is where Omni wishes he had a GPM talent. He's sitting on 2.6k net worth.
Oh, yeah.
Witch Doctor getting full value out of a 120 GPM talent. Didn't go for Death Ward, damage or range, went for Maledict, Tick, and Voodoo Restoration. So it's a lot of heal. So now gets that percent-based heal thrown in there as well.
Oh, yeah. Late game heal scalability. Yep. Love it.
That's crazy. Witch Doctor's level 25. It's
All
not
right.
every day you see that. Support's getting 25 is pretty uncommon.
Well, the teams are kind of skirting around the perimeter of each other, but not quite making the full commitment yet. There's the lead in stun. Trying to bait out maybe an early BKB, sir. Sliding away, Kaka.
Lifesteal's in his big, giant granite golem. He's like, you can't hex me. I'm not afraid of being insta-hexed. Get the bounty runes, guys.
EHOME are just like, I don't like this.
They're beelining top. They know there's bounty runes.
I'll go somewhere
they're
else.
hearing us.
Yeah, all the way top they go. Well, just leave some time for Keen to kind of clear out what looks like the tier 2 at the bottom.
Bounty runes.
Finally, all outer towers gone.
They're 750 gold each now. That's a lot of gold.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. If you get 3 out of 4 bounty runes, that's a 1.5k gold swing. Which, it's 55 minutes, isn't insane, but it adds
Did they keep touching the bounty runes in the last couple of patches, or no?
I think so.
Man.
They just, like, the longer the game goes, the more gold they give, so it's
I
like,
knew that, but I didn't know it was 750 about an hour into the game.
That's total, not per player.
oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like,
One-
what?
150 per player. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was adding up to team gold. But yeah,
All right,
150
fair
a
enough,
player.
fair enough.
I mean, if you think of 300 gold per player is not that much if you get 2 bounty runes, but when you think of the entire team's gold, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Omni would love some bounty rune gold.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Poor man is starving out at this point.
And these Force Staffs and Glimmer Capes and Aeon Discs are pretty handy items to have. We've seen Force Staffs save people constantly throughout the game. And that's what Witch Doctor can almost afford because of all this GPM talents.
Absolutely. If you can survive like a big onslaught of plays with a 4-staff and not having to pop your BKB. That could be so huge. Here, though, BKB utilized to try to get out from potential trouble. The Ursa sees the approach of Keen, heads out the other direction.
All right, Roche respawning. Surely that's where action comes. It's kind of hard because there's only some heroes that can fit in and get value out of the Aegis. OD is one of them, though. But with the BKB being used, it does look like King Gaming want to do some damage to a tier 3 tower, knowing that Ursa has no BKB.
All right.
As I say that, he buys a refresher, though.
Oh, all right. Ward's already committed early for defense from EHOME side. Oh, was that trying to be an offensive slide in? Not too sure. Venomancer ended up hitting the wall instead. And now the jump down from the Ursa, trying to get the full grab onto this Lifestealer. There's the bash at the end, the nice stun. And, well, they are going to be able to get the finish of the Lifestealer here. Prominent start for EHOME on this one. Pop their GA, look to continue to chase onto Keen Gaming. Keen do not want any more of this after the Lifestealer falls. Try to head out the other direction. A sly little Witch Doctor trying to hide himself through the trees. Goes for the TP out, not going to be successful. Keen get punished for their bottom or top lane push, rather.
It's so annoying playing against Glimmer Capes at this stage of the game when you're a Weaver or Ursa, because if you jump the back lines, they just Glimmer Cape, and you don't have room for a gem. You don't have room for detection.
No.
Shaman has a gem, but does Shaman want to blink the back lines? No, sirree. He doesn't want anywhere near that. But EHOME still get a good team fight. The bash is onto the Lifestealer. He just played a little bit too aggressive, and his buyback, it's coming up in 50 seconds, but he also has no money, so this could be a attempted push. But even 5v4, I think you have to be very careful, and they will buy back the Witch Doctor to turn it into that 5v4.
Yeah, I mean,
this is not
1
an
minute
easy
for
push.
Roche as well. Can't just run back the other way. Let's see how much Keen can slow them down. From the low ground, though, we see the Siege on from the Shadow Fiend here. He's giving it another go. There's the Astral, defensive one. And now EHOME, step out, reapproach, move in, Abyssal, forced slide in. Astral, they are trying everything they can to save this Nyx Assassin. They're going to be successful with it. The Requiem on the bounce out, though. He gets hit with the coconut.
He's got
Right
Maledicts
clicks
on him
coming
too.
out. Full Death Ward doing a decent amount of damage, but then the Ursa gets a nice jump in and the finish of the OD, who's going to be
That
forced to
Maledict will
buy
finish
out.
him off, though.
15 seconds for the Lifestealer to come back. And as you mentioned, Shadow Fiend is going to get finished off from that Maledict. So
He's
with
got
that,
buyback, though. It's coming up in
EHOME,
2 seconds.
they bail. A race to Roche. Race to Roche. Get these lanes pushed out, boys. Go, go, go.
Pretty good high ground push. They get the OD buyback. So if they don't have to buy back Shadow Fiend, EHOME will walk away with an advantage because they force a key buyback while saving their own. But problem is, if they give up Roshan, then OD just gets an Aegis. So it doesn't matter that there is no buyback. And if you want to contest it, it's like you got to buy back Shadow Fiend. And that's where the game feels a bit more even. So it does look like Keen Gaming are getting Roshan maybe uncontested here if Shadow Fiend refuses to buy back. We'll see what EHOME can do about this. They have got the bugs to try and scout it with, and when they scout this, if they want to commit the SF buyback, they'll have to do so very quickly.
They wait around the high ground just outside.
Well, they buy back. They're using the bug to help kill Roche, and there's buyback. So,
Oh, the second they buy back, they pull out from the pit.
yeah, now game feels a bit more even. OD bought back, but so did SF. Either of these heroes dies, and it could be GG. Venno did end up going for the Hex. We saw it last fight, but one of the things EHOME do have is, you know, this Heavenly Grace, which actually made that Hex last like 1.5 seconds or something. The Satanic status resist combined with the Heavenly Grace and the Sanjin Yasha, he's got like absurd status resist.
See, Shadow Fiend also picked up a Kaya as of recent and is going to
They want to
be
fight. There's no Witch
using a
Doctor.
Glimmer in the backpack in the meantime. To the high ground near EHOME, feeling confident moving in. They drop the wards, they get a nice trap, and they're looking to rip apart and maul the Lifestealer, and they're going to be successful with it. Old Chicken, gone. Just like that.
No buyback whatsoever. They don't know that his buyback status is down. It's a gold issue, not a time issue, which is normally at 61 minutes, you're going to have buyback when it's off cooldown, but not the case for Lifestealer, who's committed all his money into buying items and hasn't had time to farm anything.
Easy, quick Roche.
Problem is, these lanes are pushing, and actually it's a pretty short Lifestealer respawn time at this stage, so with mid and bottom lane pushing, it will be, I don't think, any attempt at a high ground here. Yeah, they're going to have to TP
mid
back.
lane. Mid lane and bottom, both getting inside the base here. So
Yep.
you're right. I think Lifestealer should be able to wait this one out naturally, and we'll have an extra buyback available for the next go.
This game kind of reaching that crazy, bizarre late game stage.
Yes, it is. And then I wonder what who the onus is on at this point. So now, okay, EHOME, cool. You got an Aegis here. What do you do with it?
Yeah, did they give it? No, not SF. So SF has no buyback, which makes pushing a little bit scary. But what's going to happen is what happened last time, where Omni is being told, your one job, Mr. Omni, is to protect SF. He has no buyback. They're going to be focusing him. Weaver has time lapse and has got all this elusiveness with Shikuchi. Ursa has an Aegis. Just protect Shadow Fiend. But I think we'll see EHOME playing pretty aggressive here with this Aegis Cheese Refresher. They can drop some double Serpent Wards. They've got the Refresher Shard on that Shaman with the Ward attack damage. So it's a lot of attack damage coming out from Serpent Wards now.
Yeah, this has got to be EHOME's time, I imagine.
Yep. Venom Wards are pretty good at killing Serpent Wards, though, is one of the annoying things. You may need to micro them, but if there's nothing in range except Serpent Wards, they'll kill them incredibly fast if you've got a layer of them.
3 times Plague Ward, HP damage. I'll take over a bit, because our thing is buffering over there. No problem at all. We have already King Gaming lining up the wards for the defense, just in case, and we'll see what kind of positional shift EHOME are going to go for here. I don't know if they want to head down the front door like this. And it looks like in the meantime they're going to take their business all the way up top instead. So,
all right. We're good. Woo! Okay.
Yeah. We just watched this.
The switch back to the top.
I mean, when a predictable push through the lane, obviously the Venomancer is going to get it prepared. But it's good. I mean, it's good for EHOME. They can control the map. They control most of the money out there and available, while Keen is locked indoors just waiting.
Yeah, Keen is playing in their own base, waiting for some buyback money on some of these heroes, waiting for Aegis to expire. And I think they're probably kicking themselves a bit for how they've maybe played this game. You know, and silly as it sounds, not securing as many bounty runes as they could have. I feel like they lost like 6 bounty runes when they had this big edge. That's a lot of money that was given over to EHOME. It would look very different if they'd been a bit more money conscious throughout this game.
Well, now they're going to have very little money to work with here. EHOME have been just kind of like sharks in the water, I always say, at this moment, just swimming between the top and bottom lane, trying to catch Keen members if they do manage to kind of take themselves from outside the base. Like EHOME would like to be in the know.
It's a precarious position they find themselves in, where they just struggle to get these kills. Just the Nyx stunt reliant. It's like the reverse problem from last game. Well, it's the same problem, but on the other team, where playing late game without catch is very tricky. On EHOME, you have Shadow Shaman, who's like one of the ultimate stunning heroes in the late game, plus Ursa, who has Abyssal Blade. So Ursa's he is reliable lockdown. Dire side, Basher on Lifesteal, he's not that reliable because he has to get into Bash. He's got the Abyssal, but he has to walk on in. He doesn't have a blink. Nyx has to blink in with a Carapace or Impale. The Hex, I mean, these things don't last, or they're not reliable because you're also playing against Omni. So between Heavenly Grace and all the status resistance, having Satanic SMY on multiple heroes means that, you know, these disables, even if they come out, like the Hex and the Impale and things, they're not going to last for very long.
All right, EHOME, I'd like to see you get at least one attempted push in with this Aegis, if possible. Keen are doing their damnedest to try to keep spamming out these waves, but mid lane is approaching.
Do they go for this one? Only 30 seconds of Aegis, so it doesn't look like they're going to get high ground.
I'm like, is that credit to Keen for making him really have to stall out and work for it, or is that EHOME not having a enough sense of urgency? We'll have to see here. At least they got to give one attempt at it. It looks like they may finally get their chance here.
Ward's getting just piling up. The Venom wards are just all over this high ground.
The longer they wait, the catapults. Oh, slide forward.
Nice
they
force
got
stuff.
the force to get him outside the base, but they just get him right back indoors. Wards are going to be committed. Lifestealer tries to quickly take care of him. 11 keeping up the wards, trying to fend off EHOME's pressure inside. Thinking about making the go in. They are going to be able to get the 1 racks down. They pop the refresher shard and drop a new set of Serpent wards. Here's the cliff. Now they look for the focus here. Shadow Fiend, another force. He gets out. Death Ward going to be committed here. Finds focus onto the Ursa a bit, but he just pops the ultimate. Now dishes out his old Abyssal.
Oh, SF's being maledicted. He's melting.
He's getting a lot of damage. The Guardian Angel does come out, and they are going to get the finish of the Shadow Fiend. Out for 2 minutes now. Keen. Big name off the table here.
Yep.
And a good defense. They can continue to scrap others. EHOME trying to make it away to the high ground here.
That's a lot of buybacks being forced out. Shaman still has his.
Keen hold the line.
May need to use it. SF has it in 50-ish seconds, so it won't be if they need to buy him back, they can. But yeah. Do you want to swap back for a second so I can try up the quality for a second?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
whoops, wrong button. Hi, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. And Monster Push coming in from the northern side right now. Being dealt with from the Weaver play here, but Keen know that this is yet another opportunity to try to close this one out. They've had a couple of them now, but EHOME have been resilient as hell on stopping them on their road here. 70 minutes in for this game number 2. Keen already with the game 1 victory in this best of 3.
All right, we're good to go if you need to swap back.
Oh, yeah, if a fight's happening, we don't want to use my camera. Here we go. Look again at the approach coming from inside. Ursa on the right-hand side, positioning himself. It's a slow siege, though. Wards being committed for the defense, but the Venomancer wards
does not have buyback, but it doesn't look like he'll need it.
It's a hard thing to watch here. They know that they have to wait for the Shadow Fiend to come back up.
Very tense game. I mean, EHOME know this is their tournament life.
Yep.
And they are losing at least a range Rex here, which is not the end of the world. Even the melee Rex, not the end of the world.
He's looking, he's waiting, he's cracking his knuckles, looking for the opportunity to go for the big punch. He's waiting for the Lotus Orb to maybe come off. No, he doesn't care about the Lotus Orb. He still uses the Abyssal Blade even on himself. Tries to get another, but no, not going to be happening.
And these dire stuns. Like, that was an Abyssal Blade on Ursa that lasted like 0.2 seconds. It was like a enraged, I guess, divine favorite Ursa, but this spell is just insane when you combine it with additional status resistance.
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand why OD didn't initially build Hex, because it's like, what's it going to do? He does have one now, so he did go back for it, but finding ways to get value out of it is very difficult. Again, King Gaming not getting these bounty runes. They're not positioned to kick bottom. In fact, it's going to be EHOME getting 2 of the 4 bounty runes, I feel like, when they should have gotten none of them.
Still managing to find some resources outside their base.
And EHOME's playing with like 4 buybacks on cooldown. Or no, is it 3? It looks like. So they've got 3 buybacks on cooldown. Yet still managed to get out of onto the map to secure some bounty runes.
Be another Roche soon. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Keener likely going to wait for it.
He's going in. Nyx wants in on top.
All right.
He's sneaking by.
Let's see.
Who's
Kaka.
there to defend?
Kaka. Frigate.
He's got plus 100 agi.
Go.
Look at him go. It's a Nyx assassin.
You guys aren't going to stop me. I'm going. TP canceled?
What's happening? This Nyx just got racks.
All right. Job well done.
I've never seen that
If I
before.
knew it was going to be so easy, I would have done it earlier. Wow.
What's his other... Oh, it's the Vendetta path thing. That's like a super... I don't know. I think it's pretty terrible level 25 talent, but I also think 100 agis for a Nyx is pretty terrible. So Nyx has some pretty bad level 25s.
Yeah.
Unobstructed pathing is situationally great, but most of the time it just... You know, it's not really...
Whatever.
You know, Brood has unobstructed pathing. Does that make him some insanely good hero? No. No. I mean, it kind of does, but...
No, I'm not seeing too many big Vendetta moments where they're just flying through the air. It's like, oh, well, that makes it OP.
Here we go, though. Roche is back, and you mentioned it. This is, what, Roche number 4. This is the big one. And they're going to start things off with a Hex. They actually get a decent initiation off the Ward Trap as well.
Yep. All right. Those
All
four
these
staffs.
are so
1,
good.
2, boom. Get the Venomancer all
They
the
got
way
the
out.
Refresher
Got a
Ursa, though.
good catch onto the Lifestealer. They're going to be able to burst him all the way down and take him out of the equation entirely at this point. And then get the follow-up till the Witch Doctor. Now he buys back.
I mean, Ursa's figured out the solution to team fights. It's Refresher, Abyssal, the Lifestealer. He just kills Lifestealer from 100 to 0 with his Refresher. It does require the Refresher because the one Abyssal and Rage isn't enough. He goes, uses his full combo, Refreshers, BKBs again, Enrages again, Abyssals again, but that's enough damage to kill this Lifestealer. And I don't know how you solve it. I see the answer in Lifestealer's head. He queues up an Aeon Disc. 72 minutes in, your carry is queuing up Aeon Disc. That is, you know...
Wow.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's just the state of this game right now.
Venomancer way down mid lane.
He's trying to cut waves.
Yeah.
He knows his teammates don't have buyback. He actually had to buy time here.
Yep. 70 seconds for both of them.
Unfortunately, he did not buy much time because he got caught so quickly. He needed to cut more waves and take longer to die, which didn't happen. So they have about 1 minute, and Creep Wave is getting into their base very soon. That's a Rapier on a Weaver, by the way.
Could they just thrown it?
Think so. We're going to find
I'm
out.
just going to thrown it. They have Guardian as well. They don't have wards yet. They don't have Serpent wards on Shadow Shaman, but
They right-click very, very
they
hard.
right-click super hard.
The Plague Wards are holding up the Creep Wave a little bit.
Oh my god, EHOME. Finally going to be able to get it done possibly here. Another buyback Glyph. EHOME hesitant though. Rather backpedal, wait for the Glyph to end.
That's probably the throne,
Weaver.
right?
Yep,
This
Weaver.
Weaver and SF
Just do it, boys.
they've got that minus armor from SF, and they're just destroying it.
Yeah, looks like they should be able to get it done. After all of that, they just walk back in through the mid lane and finally finish it off. It takes 73 minutes to do it, but EHOME get to stay alive in WESG and get to fight on for a Game 3.
That was a thriller of a game. It was a fun... That to me is like LAN Dota right there. You have these crazy 70-minute games. Anyone can win. There's a lot of mistakes you can point to, but that's, you know, you play 70-plus minutes of Dota, that's going to happen. Not having... Like, OD at the end there doesn't have buyback as well. Lifesteals was on cooldown, but why does OD